All right, let's set the scene. The date is January 26, 2026. On this one day, three huge stories dropped. And on the surface, they have absolutely nothing to do with each other. But today, we're going to see if we can connect the dots.
So think about this for a second. Politics, planets, and people. What in the world could possibly connect a political showdown in India, a brand new AI searching for distant worlds, and a ceremony celebrating national heroes? It sounds totally random, right? Well, let's dive in and find out.
Okay, first up, we're jumping right into the nuts and bolts of how a government is supposed to work. This is a story about a major clash between what the Constitution demands and, the messy reality of politics. And it all revolves around one specific event, the governor's address.
So here's the problem in a nutshell. You've got several states run by opposition parties. And in these states, the governor, who's appointed, not elected, has been, causing a stir. We're talking about them skipping parts of, changing the words, or sometimes just flat out refusing to read the official annual speech that was written by the elected government. Yeah, pretty big deal.
And this whole controversy, believe it or not, really comes down to just a couple of words in the Constitution. You've got two articles to look at. Article 175 says the governor may address the legislature. See that? May. It's optional. But then there's Article 176, which is for that big first session of the year. And it says the governor shall address it. That one little word, shall, changes everything. It's not a choice anymore. It's a mandatory duty.
And look, here's why that distinction is so critical. The governor is what's called a constitutional head. Think of it this way. Their job is to act on the advice of the people who are actually elected, the state's cabinet. That annual address, it's the government's official plan. It's not the governor's personal soapbox. And just in case there was any doubt, the Supreme Court has already settled this. They've looked at this exact issue before, and their rulings are crystal clear. When it comes to that mandatory annual address, the one under Article 176, the governor has zero personal discretion. They can't just go off script. So, what's the big deal? Well, it's a huge deal, actually. It risks turning the governor's office, which is supposed to be above politics, into a political weapon. It messes with the whole power-sharing balance between the central government and the states. And here's the thing. For years, experts have been pointing to a really straightforward solution. Before you appoint a governor, maybe just talk to the state's chief minister? It's not a new idea. Okay, let's do a complete 180. We're leaving the world of politics and law behind and blasting off into deep space. Our second story is all about a brand new detective, and this one is hunting for entire planets.
Say hello to ExoMiner++. And no, it's not a spaceship or a rover. It's a super smart AI that NASA built for one very cool job: hunting for exoplanets. Those planets orbiting stars way, way outside our solar system.
So how does an AI even do that? Well, the idea behind it is actually pretty simple, but brilliant. It just crunches through mountains and mountains of data from telescopes, staring at the light from distant stars. What it's looking for are these super tiny, irregular blips, little dips in the brightness. They call them transit dips, and it's basically the shadow of a planet passing in front of its star. It's the ultimate game of cosmic peekaboo.
And you might be asking, does it actually work? Oh yeah, it works. For starters, scientists pointed ExoMiner++ at old data from the Kepler telescope. And boom, it helped confirm 370 planets that human eyes had either missed or weren't quite sure about. That's 370 new worlds added to the map just like that.
But wait, that was just the warm-up act. Then they let it loose on the data from the newer TESS telescope. And get this, ExoMiner++ has flagged almost 7,000 potential new planets. 7,000! The sheer scale of what this AI can do is, it's mind-blowing.
So what makes this AI so special? A few things make it a total game changer. First, it's what they call explainable AI. It doesn't just say, hey, I found a planet. It shows its work, giving scores and reasons so scientists know why it thinks it's a planet. Super cool. Second, it's open source. Anyone can go on GitHub and check it out right now. And third, this isn't some one-and-done experiment. This tech is already being baked into the plans for huge future telescopes, like the Nancy Grace Roman.
All right, let's bring it back down to Earth for our third and final story. From the far reaches of space, we're coming back home to India. On this same day, the country celebrated some of its most accomplished citizens with the announcement of the Padma Awards, which are among the highest honors a person can receive. So let's take a quick look at the numbers for this year. A total of 131 people were honored. You can see most of them, 113, received the Padma Shri. Then you have 13 getting the Padma Bhushan, and a very select group of 5 receiving the top honor, the Padma Vibhushan. So how do these awards work? Well, there are 3 levels, or tiers. The Padma Shri is for distinguished service in pretty much any field. The next step up is the Padma Bhushan, for distinguished service of a high order. And then, at the very top, you have the Padma Vibhushan. That's reserved for truly exceptional and distinguished service to the country.
And what's really cool is the sheer variety of people who get recognized. We're not just talking about one type of achievement. The winners come from everywhere. Art, science, education, social work, business, sports, you name it. It really shows a wide-angle view of what it means to contribute to the nation.
One of the big takeaways from this year's list is who was chosen. There's a real focus on people from all across India, from every corner of the country, and especially people doing amazing work at the grassroots level. They also give out posthumous awards, which is a powerful way of saying that someone's impact doesn't end when they're gone.
By the way, we got the scoop on these stories from our friends at UPSCRX, so if you want to learn more, you should definitely go check out their channels.
Okay, so let's bring it all back to that first question. Politics, planets, and people. What's the link? We looked at a debate over the rules that govern a society, then an AI that's expanding the very boundaries of our universe, and finally a celebration of human achievement. You know, maybe the connection is about how we create order and meaning. Whether it's a constitution that provides structure, an algorithm that finds patterns in the chaos of space, or an award system that defines what we value, they're all human-made systems. Systems designed to help us understand our world and our place in it. Just something to chew on. Thanks so much for joining me.